Welcome to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick, and today I have Dan Greinel from Sports Securities here joining me again, a regular.
That's true.
How's it going, Dan?
Pretty good. How are you, Pat?
Nice, nice. Thanks for joining me today.
Sure, it's been a while.
It has been a while. How you been?
I've been doing well, back to work, and just keeping me busy.
Yeah.
So, but been doing a little bit of buy-in here the last few days.
Good.
I don't have anything to show today from those purchases, but I should have something in the next video.
Awesome.
So
what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of go back and forth. We've got kind of a medley of different cards we're going to be talking about.
I definitely brought an eclectic mix.
Awesome. You'll talk about one.
Yeah.
I'll talk about one. I actually have three. He has much more than three.
Quite a
So I'm
few.
going to really talk slowly on mine. Really draw this out as far as we can go.
Sounds good.
So Dan, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, so I'll do two up front, and then I'll let you do your one, and then we'll go
Okay.
from there. So I brought this one. I'm starting out strong. I know this is a card that you really like.
Love it.
And so I don't know if I've actually shown this one before, but this is the 2010 Allen & Ginter Tony Hawk auto framed mini. Just an amazing card. Tony Hawk is just, epic. He's a legend in the sport of skateboarding. I don't think anyone has the pull or the weight that he does, and it's just such a strong card.
Absolutely.
I'll show the back here.
And that comes in a red ink parallel number to 10, as I recall.
Yeah, it's either 10 or 20, but
Right.
I think you're right. I think it's 10. Those are pretty pricey usually. This is more reasonable. I actually got this in a trade, and I think it's just such a fantastic card. And actually, before I pass it off to Pat, I want you to notice the Radicards fitted bag. Very nice presentation on this card.
Thank you, Dan.
Sure.
Thank you.
And there
It's
you go.
perfect. It's a
Take a look
beautiful
at it.
fit. Yeah, absolutely. And you can get these on the Radicards store at store.radicards.com. They're perfect fit bags for standard size 20-point top loaders. Yeah, I remember in 2010 when this product dropped, Allen & Ginter, I actually thought it was a crap product.
Right.
But I did like the incorporation of the Tony Hawk autograph among various others. I think there was like a Bruce Lee,
Right.
like a patch, like belt
from his
or a
gi,
gi.
yeah.
And I just thought that was just so rad. And I really liked the variety of non-baseball products within Ginter. I've always enjoyed that, though.
Yeah. They kind of get crazy sometimes, and
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Like, I don't mind the abstract or obscure sports like horseshoes or disc golf. When they start getting like employee autos and stuff, I'm like,
Lazy,
that's
yeah.
kind of lame.
Yeah, yeah. Funny thing about this product is they had the code breakers that was near impossible to figure out.
Right.
And I still to this day don't know the process behind the code breakers code and what it entails. But Tony Hawk has a code breaker auto 1 of 1
Oh, wow.
with white border that I saw online a month or so ago. I think the price tag was something near a 4-figure mark, but
Wow.
these are fantastic cards, and I'm really glad that you brought over the Tony
Yeah.
Hawk.
So the second one is in the world of racing, and this is from the 2012 Press Pass Showcase, and it's the Masterpieces Inc. Of Danica Patrick. It's a pretty strong card. Danica, not a strong driver, so much, but she's definitely a figure in the sport and a prominent figure. So I thought it would be really cool to own one of these. Funny thing is when I purchased this card, I bought this at the National in Chicago. It wasn't the last Chicago one, but I think the one before.
Was that
I
2013?
think it was 2013. It might have been 20.
It wasn't 12.
Was it 2014? Well, it doesn't matter. It was 2 Chicago Nationals ago. The guy not only had this one, but he also had this one. And so I purchased 2 copies of the same card at once. I couldn't pass up the price, and I just kind of threw it out there. If I buy both, will you take this much? And he said, yeah. So this one also has a really sweet patch that I liked, and so I wanted. And a story goes along with this as well. I actually traded one away to someone we know, and about maybe a year and a half later, it was in his 2-trade pile, and I reacquired it. I liked having the 2, so there you go. What's cool is whenever she signs something, she has her own authentication.
Yeah.
And so she puts her own little sticker on there, and you can pretty much guarantee that it's authenticated by Press Pass as well as authenticated by Danica Patrick. So.
A couple things. Press Pass is no longer,
No
right?
longer,
They're
as
gone.
far as I know.
The other thing is that essentially what you did with this card is you had it stored in somebody else's box for a while temporarily.
Yeah. Actually, I think I came out ahead because I traded it for something that like tripled in value, and
nice.
then that just kind of hung around.
And her authentication hologram sticker looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers logo.
Kind of, yeah. You're right about that.
That's pretty rad. Cool stuff, man. Well, I will make things interesting here by talking about a certain somebody that I once followed, and back in '97 when he was coming on the scene. Some of you might know that I've talked about this fella in the past. Back in '97, he was, man, probably the hottest thing in prospects. He and Ben Grieve. This is Travis Lee. This is a best California League PSA 9 minor league card of Mr. Lee. You know, he doesn't have really any resale value, so essentially what I do when I buy his cards is accept the fact that they're going to be hard to sell if I ever want to sell them.
Right.
And that's fine, because a lot of times these cards are of trivial pricing, so I'm able to acquire them for very, the cost of a Taco Bell bean burrito a lot of the time. So it's fine with me to add these as a reminder of where I was in '97, what I was doing in '97, and the card shows and the hotel ballrooms, and
some of those
all the excitement that took place back in '97 that I reminisce and enjoy to think about so much. So that's why I acquired this guy, and to add to my very minimally ambitious Travis Lee collection.
Right.
I'm not a player collector of Travis Lee by any stint of the mean, but I do pick up stuff that catches my eye and that reminds me of years gone by. So that's that piece of it. Dan, what else you got there?
So now I have a 2001 SP Authentic Payne Stewart relic card. It's not a high dollar card, but I think it's a great memorabilia piece of a great golfer that's passed. I've owned a couple of these, and this one has just kind of found its way into the personal collection and doesn't come out too often. And so I really enjoy the card. I think the swatch kind of is a reminiscence of how he would dress at these tournaments and these games, and I'm sorry, at these PGA events, and you can kind of relive what he used to do. So I mean, he always had that very unique look with the like the knickerbockers and the tall socks and so forth. And so it's pretty cool. That one's I believe the silver version, numbered to 100. There's some normal versions. They have like a green background, and pretty cool.
2001. Wow.
Yeah, it's the first year I did golf.
Kind of an early patch card. Cool stuff, man. I like SP Authentic was always a good product.
They were. So this next piece also has some history. It is a Carlos Delgado 1 of 1 white version from the 2004 Cracker Jack.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I have a unique pleasure of owning this 1 of 1. They weren't stamped, but if you go back and check the archives, you'll see that the white borders are 1 of 1s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't just have this one, but I also have this one.
2 copies.
Two copies of the 1 of 1. And interesting fact, they both came out of the same pack. So I pulled this card along with its pair and contacted Topps. Got no response as to why I would have 2 1 of 1s. Sent a lengthy letter to Beckett back in '04, and they actually published it. It's a horrible example of my writing, but
that's incredible.
It was confirmed by them that they are supposed to be 1 of 1s, and when they contacted Topps gave them some story about how they always have extra copies in the event that one is damaged,
right,
so that they can replace it, and somehow I must have received both of them in the pack. So I guess technically 1 of 1s aren't really 1 of 1s, but we've kind of discussed that in the past.
Well, there's the concept of replacements to accommodate consumer need based on product delivery mishap, if you will. So having an extra copy is actually beneficial. A lot of the extra copies over the years
should be destroyed.
Have surfaced.
Yeah.
I have some of them myself, and so when I see this, I'm always intrigued. But it's okay. There are 2, probably not 3.
Right.
Right. So you have the original then you have the replacement, which is an exact replica.
Right.
Or exact copy.
Right.
It's awesome that you
One
have
of
both
one.
of those.
Yeah, so I always keep them. I think that's interesting. And if you notice, they are both also in Radicards fitted
Top loader
bags.
Beautiful. Beautiful presentation. Love it. That's 2?
That's 2.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna save that one for last. Okay. So as you know, I'm a Frank Thomas collector. I am working on acquiring a collection of all of Frank Thomas's minor leagues and rookie cards, so 87 through 1990, all in PSA 10 and BGS 9.5. But the BGS 9.5s, I always look for all straight quad 9.5 or higher. I'm okay with having a 9 in there if I can't find it otherwise. I some years ago, I think I acquired this card with BGS 9.5, 395 subcategories and 1.9, and I was like, well, this will be a good, placeholder until I find a better copy. That one sat on eBay for a while before I pulled the trigger on it, and then I found this one, and I was like, well, I'll bring this home and then sell my other one or whatever, do something else with it, or just have it, or maybe undecided what I'm going to do with that. So I acquired this. This is the 1990 classic yellow Frank Thomas BGS 9.5, all 9.5 subcategories. They printed a lot of these, and they're available in quite a volume of quantity for PSA 10s.
Right.
Like they didn't, it's not like an old card where it was susceptible to a lot of life-threatening situations, if you will. It's found frequently and frequently in good condition. One of my favorite, I just love this shot of a young Frank Thomas. I've always liked the yellow border, very Saved by the Bell, right? And there's the back, the classic back.
Right.
So this is kind of a cool piece. I really like this set a lot, and I have a PSA 10, and also too, acquiring, in addition to the PSA 10, BGS 9.5, all 9.5 subcategories or higher, looking for signed PSA authenticated versions of them all as well. So just kind of a fun project for me to work on over the course of time.
How many different versions are there?
Of all the different minor league and
Well, I'm just saying in this card. Or
so this is the only one
Okay.
of this card. So I'd be acquiring 3 copies, of which I have 2.
Got it.
I may actually have a classic signed. Off the top of my head, I'd have to look at my museum and see if I've got one. If not, then
Right.
that's another card I'm still after. That aside, this is a card that I just think is rad, so I'm glad to have the quad 9.5 in the collection.
Nice.
Thanks.
Well, hey, I'm going to finish up with mine.
Do it.
I'm going to go a little bit long so that you can finish with your final piece.
Cool.
So no, like a barrage of cards is complete without a Jose Canseco autograph. I had to bring it in. It's the only one I actually know that I have. I might have another floating around somewhere in my athletics, personal collection.
Sure.
But this is the only one I've come across as of recent, and it's interesting because it shows Jose in his D-backs uniform. I think a lot of people forget that he did a short stint with them. It's kind of reflecting on how his career really pretty much went downhill after he left Oakland. He's most known for when he played with the Rangers for bouncing a home run off of his head.
I remember that.
And then
yeah.
he went to the D-Rays where we forgot about him, and then he shot his finger off.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he lost his finger. In this picture you can't see it because he probably hasn't shot it off yet, but
Oh, that was years, many years before that happened.
Before he had that gun accident,
Yeah.
right? It's cool though, I really like it. It's just, take a look at it. Out of the 99 Clear Mystique?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are rad.
Numbered to 250.
These are on card.
Yeah, on
and they're
card.
stamped.
Yep.
Such a cool concept of Fleer back in the day, and they're hand numbered.
They are.
I think the Fresh Ink insert sets from this era are, it's one of those sets that it hadn't, sort of similar kind of design that maybe Ultra had done at one point with something similar, but the concept hadn't been done previously in this way and in this caliber, and I don't think it's been matched since in terms of consistency of quality of player, and
right.
I just think it's a great set with a classic, just a good looking design. Fleer really did a great job with a lot of their products. I really miss the brand quite a bit.
For sure. Then next I have a 2004 Leaf Limited Legends of Ty Cobb, numbered to 50. Just a really nice memorabilia piece of, Ty Cobb.
Did you pull that or buy it or trade?
I'm fairly certain I traded for this. I don't remember when or what I might have given up for it, but it's a pretty cool piece, and I just think it's clean, and they have that swatch there. You can look at the old wool jersey, and
Yeah, I like that copper foil on
the
there.
copper foils.
Look how he's holding the bat.
Yeah.
Those bats back then were really big and heavy. This is an awesome piece. 2004 Leaf Limited.
2004 Leaf Limited.
I wonder what the odds are for pulling this.
I could probably have looked that up, but
That's a nice
I just
one.
grabbed it and thought it would be
Love
cool
it.
to show. And then I'll finish with a piece of football. This actually is also personal collection. One of my favorite pieces of football autograph memorabilia, it's a 2005 Donruss Gridiron Gear Performers Earl Campbell, patch auto. And I just remember being a kid and liking Earl Campbell, and obviously a Hall of Famer for the Oilers, and I just really liked the colors of this card. This one's numbered to 25. And the only gripe I would have is that the autograph is not an on-card autograph, but rather a sticker autograph. But it's kind of cool with that silver foil. It kind of makes it pop a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
Kind of reminiscent. Well, this is football's version of prime cuts, right?
Yeah.
And so there are probably many parallels that feature Earl Campbell.
I'm sure.
And like varying different patches and combinations and signature, no signature, yada yada
Right.
yada. A lot of one-of-ones. Frank Thomas has the prime cuts run, and I don't have any of them because, to be honest, it's exhausting.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a nice piece. I really like the red, white, and blue patch.
Well, what I think is great about the patch is it's, back in those days it was a silk screen, it wasn't actually a sewn-on patch. So you look at that.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah,
It's got the ink.
It's got
Not the ink, but
yeah.
what that would...
I would say paint.
Paint.
Yeah.
In a way. That's just a nice piece. Great card. Yeah, but you wouldn't find any on cards with this set. They're all going to be
that.
cutout stickers like that. But a good presentation.
Yeah.
The window is really nice.
Yeah, and it's centered fairly well. So
Fairly well.
Yeah.
So, good stuff, man. And Earl Campbell.
Yeah, and Earl Campbell.
Can't go wrong. I'm going to finish it off. You ready for this?
Ready.
Okay, this card, I'm going to sort of do one of those things where I won't show you the card until like last minute.
Sounds
so we're
good.
going to talk about it. So this card here was in the showcase of a dealer friend of ours that I've known for quite some time. He comes and does mall shows, I guess every couple months or so,
Yeah,
if you will.
2-3 months.
He had this in a showcase. I don't know for how long, but I became aware of it last summer 2015, and there have been many shows since last summer, and every time I go to the show, he's there, showcase is there, and this card is in the showcase every time.
And I'll vouch for the fact that Pat has looked at it probably 100 times.
It's 105.
105.
A lot of times. And so I was like, I'm going to go to this mall, I'm going to see the card in the showcase, and I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to have to haggle for it. I'm going to have to find a way to get this card, because every time I go, I look at it and consider buying it. So I may as well just buy it, because if you're looking at it that many times, it's a clear indication that there's a desire for the card.
Right.
So I went and I talked to the guy, and we worked out a deal, and I bought this card, and I'm really pleased to have it. There is a price tag on it, but I didn't pay what the price says, so please disregard. This set is maybe a favorite of mine from anything Fleer from 1998. I think it's just fantastic. This set comes at a time when we're reminiscing to a 1963 set, 1963 Fleer. They brought it back in '98 with the kind of a new modern feel to it, and then they had a really cool parallel with it called Classic. This is 1998 Fleer Vintage 63 Classic 63 Greg Maddux. Now, what makes this card just fantastic is you'll see the little diamond on the bottom left-hand corner there. It's in gold foil. That's how you indicate it as a parallel. If you flip it over, serial number to 63. This set has garnered quite a bit of attention over the last couple of years. It's a pretty big set, featuring a lot of stars and superstars. This was at a time when insert sets only featured the most prominent talent
Right.
at the time, and I miss that a lot, because when you pull a card like this, you're guaranteed a good player.
Right.
Whether it be Moises Alou to Frank Thomas and all the in-betweens, there's a lot of good variety, good talent in this set, and I'm pleased to have this. I don't collect Greg Maddox to any degree of significance,
Right.
but I like this set a lot, and I saw this for months and months and months, and I just ended up needing to have it in the collection.
Right.
So this will eventually be scanned in and added to the museum under the graded baseball section in the medley portfolio. Thank you for watching another episode of Radicards TV on Radicards.com. Thank you, Dan, for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Pat.
All right. Until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.